I don't know names of specific roads, but we were trying to get away so the police wouldn't be able to catch us.
Mr. Bradley, say anything concerning the police and wanting to get away at that point?
He was saying that he doesn't want to go back to prison. He was scared, and he was going to do whatever he had to do not to have to go back to prison, including
What?
excuse me, but he said including shoot these crackers.
Now, during the drive, did you see any police officers?
Yes, sir. It was like a little. My memory for time frame is fuzzy. The roads, that type of stuff is fuzzy. But I know at one point we were in one lane and there was an officer in the other. And
Was that officer going in the same direction or coming towards you?
I think they were going. I think that they were coming towards us.
And was this shortly after leaving the hotel?
I can't remember how long. It couldn't have been that
Have you
long.
stopped anywhere between leaving the hotel and seeing that officer?
No, sir.
And was there anybody else in the vehicle other than yourself and Mr. Bradley?
No, sir.
Once you saw the patrol car, did the officer go past you all? Did you pass each other?
I don't remember if she actually passed us or what happened. He was saying that she saw our tag, so.
When you said that she saw the tag, did you say anything else to them?
Just the same thing he was been saying, that he was getting paranoid that she saw the tag and that he didn't want to go back to prison. It was like along the same lines that he had been saying. He didn't want to pull over.
Did you say anything in particular about shooting an officer?
The same thing he had been saying, that if we were going to get pulled over, he was not going back to prison, and that he would shoot these crackers.
And what do you take the word cracker to mean?
Anything in a uniform.
During this time, had the officer turned around?
Somehow she ended up behind us. I don't know if we passed her or she made it to where she was behind us, but she ended up behind us and hit our lights.
And when that happened, what did Mr. Bradley do?
We did pull over. Do I keep going?
Well, during this time that Mr. Bradley is telling you he'll do whatever it takes, he will shoot the cracker, what were you telling him?
I was telling him no, it's just, and he was saying that he could be gone for 5 years, but I was like, no, it's just, sorry. I was like, no, you don't need to do that, it's just 5 years. It's not that serious. You can't, like, if you shoot an officer, there's not really any coming back from that. It's going to be way longer than your 5 years.
And when you were talking to him, what was your tone of voice?
I was crying. I was upset.
Did Mr. Bradley eventually stop the truck?
Yes, sir, he did stop the truck.
And do you know where you were at when he stopped the truck?
I was in the passenger side.
Do you know what location, road, area?
I don't know where we were at when we got stopped by the officer. No, sir.
And once you stopped, did the officer make contact with the two of you all in the vehicle?
Yes, sir. Not physical contact, but we stopped the car, and she was saying that we need to step out of the vehicle. But I raised my hand. I was still on the passenger side. I put both my hands up. And
Sustained. Next question.
What did you hear the officer say, directing towards yourself and Mr. Bradley? What did she say?
Overruled based on the court's prior ruling.
What did the officer say?
to step out of the vehicle.
And what did Mr. Bradley do?
He thought that she was going to shoot him.
Did he step out of the vehicle?
No, sir.
What were you doing?
I had my hands raised in the passenger side.
At this point, were you saying anything to Mr. Bradley?
I don't remember if I was still going on. I probably was wondering why he was so paranoid.
What was he saying?
He was continuing to ask her, why are you going to shoot me? What did I do? for you to shoot me. Why are we being pulled over? Why do I need to step out of the vehicle?
Did you ever see anything from the officer that indicated she was going to shoot?
No, sir.
Did the officer eventually walk up to the car?
Yes, sir. The whole time she was saying these orders, she was walking up to the car.
And do you remember Mr. Bradley doing anything at that point, moving the vehicle or anything like that?
I don't remember Mr. Bradley moving the vehicle. He had his door cracked. Not all the way open, but enough.
How close do you remember the officer or the deputy coming up to the car?
Maybe within like a foot or 2 feet of the car.
And when she was there, what happened?
When she came up to the car, she was still giving orders, and Mr. Bradley took out, he had his gun in his hand, and he shot the officer.
Do you know how many times?
It was like 5, 6 times.
At that point, what did he do next, Mr. Bradley?
He was just staring at her, so I was like, okay, go. We can't just stay here. I told him to go. He went.
And did he go?
Yes, sir.
Do you know where you all went at that point?
We went all through these streets, somewhere by Turtle Mound. I just know it was like a lot of land, so I'm not sure what.
You eventually end up at a house?
Yes, sir.
And what was the point of stopping at the house?
We stopped at the house to get gasoline for the vehicle we were in.
And why that particular house? Do you
The garage door was open.
know? And when you stopped, what happened once you stopped there?
We got out and both of us went in the garage, and there was like some shelves. So he ducked down behind the shelves. I guess I smoked a cigarette by the gas can.
Did anybody confront you all when you were in the garage?
The homeowner was actually there and came out.
And what happened when he came out?
He was wondering why we were in his garage.
Did you speak to him?
I don't remember.
Did he stay there long, or did he leave the homeowner?
Oh, he went back in his house.
And then once he went out of your line of sight, what did you, yourself and Mr. Bradley do?
I think I was still smoking a cigarette.
And then when you finished your cigarette, what did you do?
We left.
And at the point that you left, did anything happen at that point?
We continued to flee. When we came back out, there was officers everywhere, so we both got back in the truck, and I got back in the passenger side. He was still driving, and we took off again.
Now, Ms. Kerchner, do you know a person by the name of Denise Kerchner?
No, sir.
Do you know a person by the name of Denise?
Yes, sir.
And who is she?
That's my sister.
She used to have the last name Kerchner?
No, sir.
Did you have a cell phone at that time?
Yes, sir.
And whose phone was it?
Mine.
Whose phone, whose number, who did it, was the subscriber, who was on the records for that phone?
Denise Kerchner, which is a mix of me and my sister's name.
Were you eventually arrested by the police?
Yes, sir.
Did you speak to the police after you were arrested?
Yes, sir, I did.
Did you lie to them?
Yes, sir, I did.
Did you try to cover for Mr. Bradley?
Yes, sir, I did.
Why'd you do that?
Because I have more than one reason. The first reason is that I didn't want him to go to jail for this, and the second reason is that I didn't want to be a snitch, and the third reason is that I was scared. It was a lot to take in. I was scared.
Telling the truth today?
Yes, sir, I am.
Tell the jury who shot them.
Brandon Bradley shot Deputy Phil.
Why should the jury believe you today with your testimony?
I guess the jury doesn't have any reason to believe me because I lied in the beginning quite a bit, but I have a family to go home to. I've changed a lot. I was 19 when I got arrested, extremely intoxicated. I'm going to be 22 in May. I've been sober. I've been in jail for over 2 years. I want to go to school. I want to help other kids in my situation. People change and grow up. And this was a tragedy, but I wouldn't choose this for anyone.
Are you telling them the truth today?
Yes, sir, I am.
Got to make up a moment.
Yes, you may.
No further questions at this time.
Okay, cross-examination by the defense.
Afternoon, Ms. Kerchner.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. You already got your deal, right?
Yes, sir.
I want to start before March 6, 2012, okay?
Okay.
Is that okay with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You and Brandon, Mr. Bradley, you were together since about Valentine's Day, correct?
Yes, sir, or the day after.
Okay. And for about 2 weeks before March 6, you and Mr. Bradley were doing drugs, right?
Yes, sir.
A lot of drugs, right?
Yes, sir.
Day in, day out.
Yes, sir.
Would you describe it as a drug binge?
Yes, sir.
By a drug binge, it wasn't you just doing drugs at night, after a long day of work. You'd wake up and do drugs, right?
Yes, sir.
Hang out for a little bit and you do more drugs, right?
Yes, sir.
And you and Mr. Bradley were doing the same thing, right?
We were doing the same drugs, but different quantities of drugs.
What kinds of drugs were you doing during that time that you and Mr. Bradley were doing?
I'm not 100% sure exactly what he was doing. I know we both sip syrup, which is promethazine or codeine, and take Xanax and smoke weed.
And the syrup, you would drink that? Would you mix it with stuff?
We mix it with Sprite and candy.
And would that be sometimes how you would start off your day? Well, you would drink some syrup?
That's usually how we started out our day.
Okay. And marijuana, how much marijuana were we talking about?
You won't usually catch us not smoking.
Okay. So, I mean, it was so much that you can't tell us exactly, hey, we would smoke 2 blunts a day, right?
No, sir, I can't give you a...
How would you smoke? How would you and Mr. Bradley smoke the marijuana?
Roll it in a blunt.
Can you tell members of the jury what you mean by blunt? What's the size of the blunt?
It's a cigar, and you just bust it down, throw out the tobacco, put your weed in, roll it back up.
So we're not talking about a little joint about an inch or 2 long. We're talking about a long cigar, right?
It's probably like 4 or 5 joints.
4 or 5 what?
Joints.
And what else would you do? What kind of drugs?
Me personally, I took a lot of Xanax all the time, and the codeine or promethazine. And I think I had taken some ecstasy at that point, too.
Mr. Bradley had taken ecstasy as well, correct?
I believe so.
And Mr. Bradley was doing Xanax as well during that time frame, right?
Yes, sir, it was.
And actually, he started doing the Xanax when he started hanging out with you, right?
Yes, sir.
And it would be fair to say that you were doing Xanax a lot more than Mr. Bradley had, correct?
Yes, sir, that's fair to say.
So you would have had a tolerance built up to Xanax to some extent, correct?
Very high tolerance.
And Mr. Bradley in no way had the same tolerance built up like you had, right?
No, sir.
No, sir, that I'm not right or that I'm right?
Oh, no, you're right.
Okay. do any cocaine during that time?
I could have done cocaine during that time.
Not sure.
I can't remember.
You said earlier a couple of times that your memory's fuzzy.
Yes, sir.
Big reason why it's fuzzy is because of the amount of drugs both of you were taking at the time, right?
Yes, sir.
Were you doing heroin?
I tried putting on a cigarette one time, but it made me really sick, so I didn't like it.
Okay, but you did try it.
Yes, sir, I did.
You also taking Roxys, right?
No.
You weren't doing any Roxys?
No, I hate them. My sister's addicted. I don't like it.
You yourself, with your own eyes, saw Brandon doing drugs every day during that 2-week period, correct?
Yes, sir, I did.
Be a fair statement that a lot of the things that happened at the motel, when taking the furniture out, very unusual behavior on your part?
Ridiculous behavior.
And you would attribute that to the amount of drugs that were in your system and Mr. Bradley's system, right?
Yes, sir, I would.
There's really no other logical explanation. Would you agree to that?
Yes, sir, I agree.
I mean, have you seen the photographs of the property that was taken in the motel room?
I'm not sure if I've seen the photographs of it.
Your attorneys never showed you the photograph that was taken from the motel room?
I read all the stuff that was taken. It was stupid, like an air conditioning plate or something.
Judge, may I approach the witness?
Yes, you may.
Ms. Kerchner, I'm showing you State's Exhibit 14. That's a nightstand from your room, right?
Yes, sir.
And your guy's room was upstairs on the second floor, right?
I don't remember.
You don't remember that either. That's because you were very intoxicated, were you not?
Yes, sir, I was.
But somehow this nightstand got, at the very least, outside of your motel room to the street, right?
Yes, sir.
That's because you, Mr. Bradley, was very intoxicated, right?
Yes, sir.
Is intoxicated even the right word to say?
I wouldn't think so. I don't even have memories of where days began and start.
Yeah, you were it out. Okay, there. Going back to asking about you taking Roxy or not, would it be fair to say that you probably took them? You just can't be sure that you didn't take them?
I mean, I could have, but I don't see why I would. I really hate those pills.
But you can't be absolutely sure that you didn't take them.
No, sir, I can't be.
That's because you were pretty messed up.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Bradley was pretty messed up, too.
Yes, sir.
Would it be fair to say that time that the events happened with Deputy Phil, you had almost every drug in your system? Would that be fair?
I don't know if I had every drug in my system when the events happened with Deputy Pill. I know after we crashed in the ditch that I took even more drugs. So then I'm pretty sure that I would have had near every drug in my system.
You took more drugs because you were afraid of getting caught with drugs in the car?
Yes, sir.
And knowing what just had happened with Deputy Phil, wouldn't you agree that possessing drugs would be the least of your problems at that point?
In my head, I was high. I thought, I'm not getting charged with this because I didn't do it, so I don't want to be charged with these pills and whatever else in the car.
And that was a concern in your mind at that time?
Yes, sir.
Were you doing mollies? Were you, Mr. Bradley, doing mollies leading up to March 6, 2012?
I can't remember if mollies were even little crystals.
The what?
Little crystals. I'm not sure exactly what's in a molly.
How about monkeys? Do you know what monkeys are?
Yes, sir, I do.
What's that?
Ecstasy.
And you said earlier both of you were doing that, correct?
Yes, sir.
Can you give us a number of how many?
No, like I said, I like downers. I probably wasn't taking that much ecstasy as I would have been more on Xanax and codeine.
You were able to, well, I'm going to take it that you, because of your impairment, don't remember a lot of the statements you made to Agents Simox, Catafora, and Weninger when you got arrested.
No, sir, I don't remember even talking to them.
But you did see a video of that, correct?
Yes, sir, I did.
And you don't dispute what you said. I mean, you heard your own 2 ears what you said, right?
Yes, sir.
And you saw it with your own 2 eyes. What people in the room, you were sitting there, what you were saying, correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you know Jeffrey Villegas?
Yes, sir, I do.
And you had him, you had his phone number programmed in your cell phone at the time, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you didn't have him programmed as Jeffrey Villegas, correct?
Oh, I'm sure I didn't have him.
You had him programmed as Fool, F-O-O-L.
I guess. I can't remember what I had him on my phone as.
Mr. Villegas is a gentleman that's much older than you, correct?
Yes, sir.
And remember how you met Mr. Villegas?
I sell him pills.
You were selling him pills?
Or if he would get his script, we might buy a bunch. We usually end up selling them back to him.
Okay. And do you remember how you got his number, or did he get your number, and how that all went down?
No, I don't remember how.
Did your sister get the number, or did you meet him somewhere?
I think my sister did eventually end up meeting him through me. I don't know if she had his number. Probably.
You remember speaking to Mr. Villegas on March 6, 2012?
I actually didn't know he was still on the phone.
Okay, what? So is that a yes, that you did speak to him?
I did speak to him, but I didn't know I didn't hang up my phone from speaking to him.
Do you remember when you talked to him?
No.
Do you remember if you told him?
No, sir, I don't.
You can't say that's true about it, right?
No, sir.
The cell phone you had, did you share that with your sister?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Well, earlier you indicated that the cell phone, or at least the phone number, was under Denise's name, right?
It's her first name and my last name.
Okay, but her name's not Kerchner, right?
No.
Potter?
Or Walters, yes, sir.
Or what?
Walters.
Okay. So either under Denise Potter, her name's either Denise Potter or Walters at a certain time, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. And the phone was under Denise Kerchner.
Yes, sir.
And that phone number was, at the time, 208-4873, right?
I don't remember the number.
But you indicate that you had your phone with you that morning, March 6, 2012?
Yes, sir, I have my phone.
Were you talking to Mr. Villegas before you got into the car? After you got into the car? You remember that?
I can't tell you what I was talking to.
You have no memory as to that, right?
No, sir.
You have any memory of what you and Mr. Villegas were talking about?
I was probably trying to sell him something.
Heroin?
Sounds possible.
You're trying to sell it to him, why did he buy heroin from you? User?
I don't remember if you ever buy heroin from me, but usually if you will do Roxy's, you will want heroin, so it probably was trying to put him on it.
I want to take you back to the motel room for a moment. You said earlier that you believe you took cover to an AC unit,
Yes, sir.
and taking that cover, I believe you said it tells you how retarded we were at the time. Your statement.
Yes, sir.
And it retarded means how out of your mind you were.
Yes, sir.
You and Mr. Bradley.
Yes, sir.
You don't remember talking to the police when you got arrested, right?
No, sir, I don't remember.
You don't really remember the conversation you had with Mr. Villegas, right?
No, sir, I don't.
And you don't really remember what time it was that you got into the SUV, right?
No, sir, I don't remember.
And you don't really remember, well, you said you don't remember the streets, right? The streets that you turned on.
No, sir.
You don't remember if Mr. Villegas called you or you called him, right?
No, sir, I don't remember.
But you now remember certain statements Mr. Bradley made to you.
Yes, sir.
Now, when you spoke to the agents, Mr. Brown asked you if you lied to all three agents, right?
Yes, sir, I did.
At first, you told them there was a third person in the car, right?
Yes, sir.
You then gave that person's name to them, right?
Yes, sir.
That's Larry Galvin, right?
Yes, sir.
And then you were specific enough that you told the agents the date of birth, right?
Yes, sir.
Month, day, and year.
Yes, sir.
They didn't ask you who shot. You said, I don't know. Right?
I don't remember that specifically.
Remember them, you telling them at first that they needed to go check out Larry because he was hiding in the back seat? He was probably the one that shot.
Yes, sir.
Said you lied because you tried to cover for Brandon, right?
Yes, sir.
You lied to the agents when you told them you were pregnant at the time, right?
Yes, sir.
And you told them you were pregnant with Mr. Bradley's child, right?
Yes, sir.
And that was a lie, right?
Yes, sir.
You told Mr. Bradley that too, and that was a lie, right?
I haven't talked to him the whole time I've been
Well,
arrested.
before you got arrested. You
I
told him
don't,
you were pregnant,
probably.
and that was a lie.
Yes, sir.
You lied to Mr. Bradley.
Yes, sir.
And you didn't want to be a snitch is another reason why.
Yes,
right?
sir.
And do you remember, or I know you said your memory's bad because of all the drugs you did, but when you were listening to the statement that you gave to law enforcement, remember telling them, if I give you information about Larry Galvin, can we cut a deal here? Remember telling law enforcement that?
Probably.
So you weren't worried about being a snitch to Larry Galvin, right?
I hated him at that time.
You were scared too, right? Yes?
Yes, sir.
You weren't scared too much that you mouthed off to the officer several times, right?
Yes, sir, I did.
It would be fair to say you weren't. You say you were pretty assertive and aggressive with them at the beginning.
Aggressive how?
get your arm off of me. I want a comfortable chair. I want to sit as far away from you.
I think that's being a brat. I wouldn't say it's aggressive.
I was sitting there, and you can sit there. Remember you telling police officers where they could sit during their interview at their station?
I think that's being a brat. I don't see that as aggression.
Remember directing them how the questioning is going to go. You ask me one question, I give you an answer. Remember telling them that?
No, sir, I know I said that. I saw it on the video.
Remember telling them, if I shot the bitch, I'm going to tell you. You weren't scared to say that, were you?
Again, I don't remember, like, even the interview, but I saw this.
But you did say that.
I'm sure I did, yes, sir.
You saw the video, right?
Yes, sir.
And you saw it and heard yourself say that, right?
Yes, sir.
Remember telling them, I'm going to shoot all three of you because I don't like cops, right? You said that.
Yes, sir.
I hate cops. You said that, right?
Yes, sir.
I don't even like cops. I hate cops with a passion. You said that, right?
Yes, sir.
You, okay. And you also said she came over there as rude as fuck, meaning how Deputy Pill approached your car. Remember telling Agent Simok and Spatafora that?
Yes, sir.
And when Agent Spatafora started telling you, you know what, we got this on video, you said, go ahead, the video is going to show Larry's in the back seat, right? You weren't scared
Yes, sir.
about that, right?
No, sir.
They asked you who was driving. You said, a black dude who gave me a ride. You said that, right?
Yes, sir.
That's completely a lie,
Yes, sir.
right? Just seen him, and I asked him for a ride. That's another lie.
Yes, sir.
Dropped off laundry at a little place. That's a lie, too, right?
Yes, sir.
When the agents asked you, why shot? I don't know. That's a lie, isn't it?
Why what?
Based on what you're saying here today. When you were asked, why did he shoot? I don't know.
Yes, sir.
They asked you if anything unusual happened at the motel. You said, nothing. That's a lie, right?
The whole thing was a lie.
But that statement is another lie, right?
Yes, sir.
When you told the officers, we left at 7 with Brandon to go to my mom's to do laundry. That's another lie, correct?
I don't know if we were leaving to go do laundry.
Okay. Do you remember what time you left the motel?
I don't remember any times.
They gave you a photographic lineup to look at, and you didn't pick out Mr. Bradley, right?
No, sir, I
You
did
picked
not.
out another guy, right?
Yes, sir.
And you intentionally lied about that too, right?
Yes, sir, I did.
No one likes you guys. I mean, you talking to the agents and that. You said that, right?
Yes, sir, I did.
You got old white people that like you, and that's it. You said that as well.
Yes, sir, I
You
did.
weren't scared to make that comment, right?
I guess not.
I'm 19, and I don't like any of you. I have no respect for cops. You were not scared to tell 3 agents that, were you?
No, sir.
You said earlier that Mr. Bradley weren't sure if the gun was on him or in the center console, correct?
Yes, sir.
He never asked you for the gun, did he?
No, sir.
Right, so if someone would say they heard you or heard Mr. Bradley screaming, hey, give me the gun, that would be a lie?
Okay, sustain asked a formative question.
So it would be a lie if Mr. Bradley was screaming at you, give me the gun, give me the fucking gun?
I don't remember him screaming that to me.
Didn't you take the gun and shove it in between the seat after the shooting?
I don't remember ever touching the gun, period.
Do you remember telling the agents during your interview when they asked you, where did the gun go after I just shoved that bitch, I believe, in between the seat?
I don't remember touching the gun at all.
So you think, is that another lie that you told the law enforcement?
Most likely.
Remember Agent Spadafora asking you along the lines of, when you guys got pulled over, did Mr. Bradley say anything to you? And you responded by Mr. Bradley saying to you, babe, don't get scared, I'm not going to let you get hurt. Remember telling Agent Spadafora that?
I believe so.
You didn't tell Agent Spadafora at that time the statements that you said here today that Brandon supposedly said to you, right?
No, I lied.
And again, this is hours after you got arrested. This is the same day, March 6, 2012, right?
I went to the hospital. I think it was the same day.
That reminds me, you lied to the cops as well to get to the hospital. You were lying about having seizures, right?
Yes, sir, I was.
And then the police had to take you all the way to the hospital, right?
Yes, sir, they did.
And then they took you back to the sheriff's department, right?
Yes, sir, they did.
You lied about having seizures.
Yes, sir.
Okay. It's true that the only statement that you made to the officers during that interview was, fuck this, puss ass, white cracker. That's what you said, supposedly that Brandon said to you when the agents asked you what he said. Remember saying that?
Yes, sir.
And then you follow that up by saying he didn't say shit. Again, when the agents were asking you, what did Mr. Bradley say before the shooting happened?
I was high. Like, I probably was going back. When you're high, you can't think. If I was thinking logically, I most likely wouldn't have stolen a AC cover or
Mr. Bradley wouldn't have stolen the AC cover if he was thinking logically, correct?
Yes, sir.
And he wouldn't have taken a nightstand out of a motel room, right?
Yes, sir.
If he was thinking logically that day.
Yes, sir.
And you would agree that the moments from the time you left the motel to the time of the shooting, we're not talking hours, right? We're talking minutes, right?
Yes, sir.
Less than 45 minutes?
I'm not sure about the times, sir.
It was very quick. Agree?
I would agree it was quick.
Agent Spadafora, well, earlier you said that Brandon said to you that he was afraid to go to prison. Agent Spadafora asked you, did he say that? Did he say he was afraid to go to jail? And you said, listen, it was something totally different, like your officer ran up with her gun ready. Like, no, 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 no. That was your response to Agent Spadafora. Remember that?
Yes, sir.
You didn't tell Agent Spadafora, yes, that's what Mr. Bradley said to me. Right? You didn't say that.
No, sir.
You're trying to show your assertiveness again with Agent Spadafora when you said, go ask that man in there, go ask him if I'm a crybaby. You were pretty tough with agents, guns on them. Were you not?
Yes, sir.
You weren't scared?
I wasn't scared of the officers. I was scared for Mr. Bradley and just in general, the whole situation.
Now, on March 7th, let's fast forward 2 weeks later. Maybe you've come down more about saying, hey, you know what? I got to clear some things up. You didn't do that, right?
No, sir, I did
You
not.
didn't call Agent Simmock or Wenninger and say, guys, I got to clear some stuff up. You didn't do that.
No, sir, I did not.
You didn't call Mr. Brown or Mr. McMaster and say, guys, I need to clear stuff up, right?
No, sir, I did not.
Anytime in May of 2012, you didn't do any of those things, right?
No, sir, I did not.
June of 2012?
I never contacted any police.
Yes, you may.
Ms. Kerchner, January 15, 2014 is when you were in this courtroom and gave what we would call a proffer, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And your attorney was present,
Yes, sir.
and Mr. Brown and Mr. McMaster were present from the state attorney's office,
Yes, sir.
and Agent Reynolds from the Brevard County Sheriff's Office was present as well, right? Or do you remember?
Either on that day or the 23rd, he was there.
I want to go back to your interview that you had on March 6th with law enforcement. And remember Agent Simmock coming in and telling you that, you know what, Brandon's been forthright with us, he's been honest with us. And then you told him, well, okay, now I feel calm, now I'll be truthful.
Yes, sir.
You don't remember that? But you remember seeing that when the videos played for you
Yes,
several
sir.
months ago? And then you told Agent Simmock, he, meaning Mr. Bradley, just said, oh shit, we're going down, babe. That's it. You saying that?
Again, I don't remember. I've seen it on the screen.
When I asked you earlier about whether or not you knew or remember talking to Mr. Villegas the morning of March 6th, you don't really remember that. You're going by what your lawyers told you that happened that morning, right?
I never said I remembered it.